The takeaway in the golf swing, one of the most commonly spoken about and videoed parts of the golf. So takeaway is when we swing from here to roughly about here, when that club shaft is parallel with the floor. That's what generally people are talking about when they are talking about takeaway. It's also referred to in a P system, that's just different positions in your swing, as position 2. So when that club shaft is parallel with the ground, what do we need to try and do? There's lots and lots of noise, there's lots and lots of videos out there. Is it important? Is it not important? In my opinion, I think it really can make a difference to a lot of people. A lot of people who come in for lessons with me generally have a poor position in their takeaway or a very inconsistent takeaway. It's always changing. They're changing their strike pattern, they're changing their club face. There's lots of things in that takeaway they're doing that is making the golf swing a lot more difficult. So let's talk what needs to happen in a good solid takeaway. So when we're taking away the golf club, what's really, really important is 1, that we're not just using the hands and wrists. 2, that we're definitely starting to shift the body. And 3, we want to get the club face in a good position early on in the swing so that it doesn't make things a bit more difficult later on in the swing. So what we want to feel like, if we had a ball, if we had a ball in our hands, we would want to try and shift the body. So imagine we're actually going to throw it this way and throw it off the wall. You wouldn't just use this and throw your hands or you twist your wrists. You would have to use your body. So we want an element of shift. We want to start feeling that the hands, arms and body are in unison. They're all working together. We've got this old Titleist bag here. It's got about 150 to 200 golf balls in it. I wouldn't move it at all really if I used my hands. In order to shift that big heavy mass over here, I would definitely have to start to use my body. And this is a really good one. If you've got a heavy bag, a ball, a kettlebell, anything, if you can start to get that feeling of shifting that heavy object to the right, I really feel like it's the top half of my body. Turning my rib cage, I'm moving my shoulders, the back of my left shoulder in particular feels like it's shifting over here. So we've got that heavy mass and shift, shift. We are here and shift. There. My hands are going over my toes and the top half of the body is shifting to the right. So this is a great feeling. We can get over the ball and really feel that we start to shift. The left arm in particular, the bicep and tricep is connected to your chest and we're starting to move this way. We're not doing this, we're not twisting the wrists too much. We're also not separating this arm off the chest. This is one thing I see a lot of people do if they take that club way on the inside. This arm disconnects, the hands move out, and the club moves behind. We want this arm stuck to the chest. We want the hands to travel over the right foot, and if it goes hands in, club stays out. So we're going here, shift, and then from there we would turn and recenter. But I think this is a really important point to make because a lot of people try and 1, use their hands too much in their takeaway, and 2, try and turn too quickly. So as soon as they take that club away, there's a lot of leg action, a lot of hip action. There shouldn't be too much in this first part of the swing. We want to try and shift, and then we start to rotate much later. We want that shift of the body to happen. That's going to be really, really helpful. We want to try and get the hands to travel over the shoelaces. So it's hands in, club out. If we give that a try, the best thing to do is get a little repetition before you hit the ball. So shift, hands go over the shoe. Shift, hands in, club head out. Maybe even go for quite a slow backswing just so you get that position. So it's hands in, club out, and then strike from there. And one more thing is how we set the wrists. So what we want to try and achieve in a good takeaway is when we get that club parallel with the floor, we want to have the club face parallel with the spine. If the sweet spot of the club points up to the sky, like so, that's in a really open position. And if the sweet spot points too much to the floor, that's a really closed position. Assuming that we start with a face that's fairly square, we want, as we are shifting and the hands go over the shoelaces, the right wrist should bend back slightly. So the palm is facing the floor. From this angle, we are here, we shift and set. So at the moment, my knuckles of my left hand are slightly towards the floor. My right palm is slightly towards the floor. And if we just twist that round, you will see the club face matches my spine angle. So it's in a good position there. That's what we want to try and do. So it's this move here. We bend that right wrist back the way, the palm faces the floor, and then the club face ends up in a good position because of that. From this angle here, it's a shift of the body, hands over the shoelaces, and the right wrist bends backwards. There's none of this left arm separating from the chest. You don't want the hands to travel out. You see that a lot with people who hit the heel a lot. And we don't want that face excessively rotating open. So shift the body, hands over the shoelaces, and bend the right wrist back. One of the best things you can do is place a golf ball behind the ball that you're going to hit. If the ball travels straight back, the club is in a good position. If the ball travels out to the right, you're possibly disconnecting and moving the hands away. And if that ball behind you goes way on the inside, there's a good chance that's where your takeaway is going. Super drill that you can do when you're on your own. Place that golf ball just behind, push that ball straight back, and then hit from there. So great drill, super simple, you can do it on your own and it gives you some feedback without having someone to look at your swing. Another good drill for your takeaway is you can place a box down on the floor. It can be a sleeve of balls, it can be a shoe box, it can be anything that you have handy, it can be a head cover. And this is a good one for anyone who finds that they disconnect, they go this way too much. So if we make a takeaway where the hands move away from the body, you would hit the box. So this is an excellent drill for takeaway, but also for ball striking. We see some of the best ball strikers in the world. Tommy Fleetwood uses a yoga block. Brilliant drill that you can do. Great for takeaway and really good for ball striking. So this way, not that way. So hands in, club head out, and then that's another nice strike. Another good drill you can try, a sleeve of balls or a head cover makes this so easy. You could pick up a yoga block. These are brilliant to have, really, really good training aids, really cheap, and you can give these a try out. And number 3, those are some cheap drills that you can do, but if you need a training aid to reinforce how it feels, one of the best ones is the Precision Impact from Pure Swing products. So with this training aid, it goes on your right arm. You've got 2 little slots here for your fingers, so you pop your fingers in there. It goes down your forearm, and once that's in nice and tight, what you do is you release the trigger so that when you bend your right wrist back, something that we've just spoken about, you get that audio feedback. So that's one of the best things about this training aid in particular. Without having to see it, you can hear it. Audio feedback is great, so we can go here, we can start to use the body and bend that right wrist back. Palm is more to the floor, the club face is in a good position. So this is a really, really good product that you can use to help you with your golf. We'll try that out with the club. So we get to the setup, we use the body, we bend the right wrist back. The club is in a good position, so we've made that training aid click. The club face is in a good position, the palm's facing the floor. We continue to turn, club face is good. So if you're interested in something like the Precision Impact from Pure Swing products, click the link below. That will also give you a discount code, and I would only endorse something that I use myself. I think it's a really, really good training aid. I love the fact that it gives you audio feedback, so you know it's in a good position. It also is really, really good for feeling the palm to the sky, so a good club face at the top. It really helps you deliver more shaft lean and get that club in a good position come impact, which can really, really help your ball striking. So, lots of things that we've covered. The main things in the takeaway are using your body, shifting early in the swing because we shift early and turn later. Hands in, club head out. So if we can get the hands to travel in over the right foot, generally the club head's going to stay outside. It's only when the left arm and the hands disconnect and move away that we can find that club head twists open, the club moves in behind the hands, and then things become a lot more difficult later on in the swing. So if we can cover those, there's a drill for each one of them, there's a training aid that I would highly recommend. If you found this useful, please do click the like button, comment below how you get on, which videos you would like to see in the future. And if I can ask you one favour, if you can click that subscribe button, it would really help promote the channel and get more content out there to improve your golf. Once again, thanks for watching and see you next time on the channel.